Welcome, everyone, to the Village Leads Workshop. We're going to start with talking about something very dear to us at Village, which is our vision statement.
Our VillageCo vision statement is for a locally connected world. And by local, we mean it in three ways. Locally, geographically, in your neighborhoods and the spaces that you inhabit and live. And then we also mean it by local to time, getting together in synchronous time. There's so much social media, asynchronous communication. So getting together, gathering, being in the same time space. And then finally, right, local to self, showing up authentically, showing up as yourself, however way you're coming into a session or a gathering. So that's our vision statement.
The Village Growing Cohort is a VillageCo program that's designed for the recruitment, training, and support of people intending to grow villages in their area.
So we're approaching this session by sharing some co-facilitating roles. So I'm Christine. I'm a lead for Village Seattle and also co-founder of VillageCo. So I've been here since the beginning. Today I'll be talking about the cohort experience and sharing about where we've been, what we've come from, and to as well as where we're going next.
And my name is Jason. I'm one of the co-founders of Village and lead at Village Boise. And I'm going to be sharing our model. I'm going to be talking about our village model. And so I kind of carry the narrative, the story we like to tell of trees growing as a metaphor. So I'll be bringing that up throughout the program.
Yeah, and I'm Jonathan Melby, and I'm a member of Village Boise, and I also volunteer with VillageCo. Today I'll be talking about specific steps that you'll be taking as you move forward through this journey, what you'll be doing, and how you'll be supported in those actual steps of getting a village started in your area.
So we first started off back in January with the info session that many of you guys attended and got to know what Village is all about. And then we went into the second phase, which is the learning about the village gathering via Village Nomad. And a lot of you have been to Village Nomad, taken roles, and we've done that the last 2 months. And then finally, now we're coming into this third phase, which is learning how to grow a village in your neighborhood, in your area.
So next we have a couple of slides that you might recognize from the info session back in January. The first slide is who this cohort is for. So we're looking for people who want to build relationships in their area, who want to be creative in how they connect and bring people together. We're looking for people who feel rooted. They belong to a place, they're in a neighborhood, and they want to connect with their neighbors. And we're looking for people who are interested in being long-term leads, taking it from zero or close to zero up through a healthy, alive, sustained community. Who we're not looking for. So if you're wanting to build an app for community online, this isn't quite the space for you. Also, groupies, if you're looking to have a narrowly focused theme or a particular sort of person that you want together in the group, this is not that sort of thing. We're looking for something that invites everyone in an area to come together, at least in this village gathering format. Also, if you're a social media folk who are looking to just grow your audience and followers, again, not for you. Also, project champions. This is, again, that narrowly focused. This is a group that's doing this one project. We're looking for something that's a broad way to connect people together in a local area. So with these two slides in mind, have some thoughts. Does this still feel like it's a project for you? And if so, you are ready to grow. Looks like we need a mute on you, Jason.
Thanks. Here's what growth could look like. This is our village developmental journey. So again, I'm representing the model. I'm speaking a story. Part of our story is called village. It's a word. It's a label. Having these words, these labels, is a container that helps us share this and spread it. So our story will involve talking about being a seed and a sprout. Most of our time today is going to be just those two phases, seed and sprout. And then we're going to move pretty quickly through the rest, sapling, tree, and fruits, with an encouragement to continue coming to VillageCore. We'll be talking about our monthly meetings where we'll be returning to this developmental model every month.
At this stage in this developmental process, we're at a seed sprout stage. Here are three big questions that I want to put out there for you to think about. We've learned a lot from past efforts to start community gatherings. So these are three questions that are good to think about at this early stage. So I'm going to put them all out there, and then I'm going to open up one at a time for a quick answer on each. So the three questions are, why are the initial gatherings larger? Why do people choose to come back? And why do people choose to help out? So if you have a thought on this first one, why are initial gatherings larger? Go ahead and unmute and share a quick thought on that. Terry?
Curiosity.
Curiosity. Yeah, people are curious. It's something new and they want to check it out. That's exactly right. And that new freshness only lasts for one visit, more or less. So the initial gathering that you have is a very important thing to consider. Next question, why do people choose to come back?
To deepen the knowledge of what's going on.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, so deepening the knowledge of what's going on, and really importantly, if they feel like they've connected with another person and they feel like they belong and they're deepening that knowledge of what's going on, that's a good motivator for people to come back when they feel like they're connected and they belong. Last question, why do people choose to help out?
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it is fun to be part of something, to to help it grow, help it continue on. These are people who get it, and they see the other part of it is they get it, and they see that helping out is safe enough for them to do. So they have enough experience, they feel welcome and belonging enough that it's a safe move, and they get it.
So this seed section, think about you as a seed. I like to think about the seed as also the fruit, like it came from the fruit, that you fell from a tree. You fell from some support system. People, you're here for a reason because you are resourced and you're ready for this, and you have been a part of communities in different ways, and then maybe you've been involved with Village. So we're going to talk about our village-specific resources that are kind of embedded in the seed, which include Village Nomad, the library online, VillageCore, and coaching.
Village Nomad is one that you're familiar with coming out of phase 2, where you did a lot of the Village Nomad gatherings. And as a reminder, the purpose of Village Nomad is to practice village-style gatherings online in order to bring that practice to local communities. And we also support each other in this practice. We will be continuing Village Nomad, although less frequently. So we're shifting to twice a month for the rest of the year. And we have it scheduled for second Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific and fourth Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. You will see an invitation email once a week before each gathering. You can also use Village Nomad to continue practicing, as well as inviting people who might be helping you out at your local gatherings, so they can also learn how to take roles and get a feel of the program. And if neither of these dates that we have established work for you, you can always also request a special date and time for a Village Nomad session.
Next up, we've got the library. So the library is at meetvillage.org. So if you can remember Meet Village, you can always find this website. You can always get to our resources. So meetvillage.org will bring you to this website. And at the top, there is a resources link. So you click resources and boom, you're at the Village Library. There's three key resources at the top here. There's the grounding roll card, the acknowledgement lead roll card, and the host roll card. So as you click on those, you'll get this kind of PDF that you can print off. It's actually like a trifold, like a brochure. So you could have these printed and ready to share with people to talk about the roles that they can take. We asked that question earlier of why do people help out? Well, the answer is you can give them a role that's very clear and you ask them to help with the role. People will help out if you have a clear way to help and you ask them to help you. So with these role cards, you now have an easy way to help people, ask people to help. You say, will you do a grounding? Will you do acknowledgement? You can give them the role card. Also here we have the programs. So you can pull up like the gathering program for a village gathering, and you've got all the details. It's got some stuff you could read just as a good structure to get you started. So that's there. We also have these marketing materials. So if you pull that up, you're going to see stickers and one-pagers and signs that you could put out. All of this is customizable on Canva. And there's some instructions here to email us if you'd like access, because we do need to add you to our Canva team for that, to give you the ability to customize them. So all of the marketing resources are there as well. We've also got some videos of example gatherings and some posts with here's the 3 levels of local when you're talking about the vision statement. And then down at the bottom, we have the member agreements. And so these kind of community agreements are important for getting a village going too. So we'll refer to all these things later, but all you need to really know now is meetvillage.org. Resources. All of it's right there for you.
So another support available to you as part of the cohort is VillageCore. And VillageCore has been running for last couple of years now. It always meets on Mondays. And VillageCore is a place where village leads, those interested in cultivating a village in their area, to come and join with other village leads to just talk and get support and present any challenges or ideas with each other. And really, it's just a peer support and accountability group. It is once 1 hour, and right now we have it happening on the first Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific, and then the third Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Lots of resources. So we've got the Village Nomad, we've got the library, we've got VillageCore. And we also have coaching. So coaching is a part of our program because local community growing does take a lot of energy, and it's nice to have somebody to talk through the challenges with one-on-one. So the purpose is to support you with your individual journey in local community growing. So you'll meet with your coaches monthly, if possible. You can set up your own kind of pace for communicating with them. But we're hoping that you'll stay in contact weekly, like through email or text or whatever feels comfortable for you, just so you have someone to hold you accountable and encourage you as you work through these stages and these efforts.
So we've been talking about a new role here today. The role of lead, and it's for people like you who are interested in starting a village in your local area. As a lead, your main job, listen to this carefully, your main job is to help others learn and take roles. It's not about you facilitating everything or doing all of the roles as an ongoing thing. It's about you helping your community grow into its ability to facilitate itself. Along the way, as things are getting started, your job is going to be to fill the unclaimed roles yourself so that the gathering can happen. And another job, which is really important early on, is for you to find a few others to join you as leads. You can't do this alone. Don't try to do this alone. Find at least 1 or 2 others that help you start a village. And in these ways, over many months and likely a year, the lead supports the development of a village as it grows from a seed to a mature, self-sustaining tree.
The idea of being a lead, I think, is really important. Let that soak in. So as a lead, it's good to know your resources. So what we just covered that's important to know is the village gathering program, understanding what it is that we're doing with our time when we come together. There's those videos on the library, and also the best way is to experience it yourself. So going to Village Nomad, going to those gatherings, experiencing the program. It's very important to know the program. So that's a resource. Knowing the roles, very, very important, like understanding grounding guide and acknowledgement lead. These are as much opportunities for others to be a part of the program as they are elements of the program themselves. It's just so important to include others in the co-creation of the time together. So those are very important roles. There are other roles as well, like who's doing the announcing and sending the email out, who's doing the summary to thank everyone for coming. Um, Also, we had that VillageCore. So that's how we're going to stay connected for the rest of this year. Christine and me and Roger and others are going to be here several times a month. We're here for you. We're going to be sharing stories. We're going to be sharing about this journey that we're on, and we're going to be returning back to this model to remember some of the wisdom we're trying to hold on to. So get those dates in your calendar and try and carve some time out to meet up there. You can also meet your coaches at VillageCore if that works out. There's space for you to do that as well. Yeah, just the coaches are going to be really important too. So those are all of the resources as a seed.
So now we're going to get back into our developmental model with after the seed, what comes next? The sprout. And the sprout for us really symbolizes the starting off small and starting off slow. So you're not quite even remotely looking like a tree. And by small, by being a sprout, you're really just connecting, finding people, talking to people in your neighborhood, in your area, one-on-one, building a group of anywhere between two to five, and really just getting to know each person and seeing how much they they resonate with that desire to connect with others locally. So getting a yes in each of these connections. And also, as a sprout, you're also beginning to just focusing more on rooting and feeling solid, having those meaningful conversations, having those meaningful connections, getting to know one another, and probably we're not necessarily leafing yet. So again, keeping it small, just starting off slowly.
Okay, so I'm going to speak to that story we tell about the model. This is a whole separate phase. This is the sprout before we gather. And so, what are we doing? We're talking about the philosophy. So that's where the vision statement's really important. Talking about locally connected world, the types of local, why local is important. These are great conversations to have with people. So you could lean on that. In terms of structure, you've got the meetvillage.org. So you can always refer to people to that site, meetvillage.org, so they can explore things for themselves and see kind of how we're thinking about doing community, talking about what your experience has been like with a village gathering, like what it was like for you. That is an important part of the model. And then the member agreements can be used here as well of starting to talk about in the member agreements, we have things like, everyone is welcome here, that we're open to all people from the area, that we're intentionally connecting, like sending some emails with each other, and we're asking for permission to do that. So those kinds of things are in the member agreement. So it's good to start teeing up with the people who might end up helping you the most by focusing on these model elements that form those roots.
And as a sprout, let's talk a little bit about what your goal is. Your goal at the sprout stage, again, is not to run a village program. It's to host friends gatherings where you discuss the idea of starting a village, not yet following the village gathering program. For these friends gatherings, plan for them to be fun, something that people enjoy. They might center around maybe a potluck or a game or a movie night or a coffee shop meetup. But alongside those fun parts, set aside some time for deeper conversations where you can go into the village philosophy and things like that. Maybe using a conversation about the village vision, a locally connected world. Talk about the 3 different types of locals. And maybe some prompts like, what does community mean to you? Keep it open-ended, let people share and be a part of what's emerging in this co-created village that you're all working to bring about. Are you interested in meeting your neighbors? What have you done in the past with neighbors that you've enjoyed? Have some deep, rich conversations that draw on your past experiences and your hopes for what you want in your local community. Remember, start with friends. At this early stage, don't put up flyers or post on social media that there's a village gathering. you're reaching out to people who want to help get a gathering started. And you might do that through posts on your social media account or that type of thing. But the ask here is we're looking for people to help start something in our neighborhood. And remember, don't move forward until you have 2 or 3 others saying, yes, I want to try this in my area and I want to help make that happen. So we hope to hear and share stories of our friends' gatherings at the upcoming VillageCore meetings. So remember, besides what you're doing in face-to-face in your local area, you also have the face-to-face in the virtual community with VillageCore, where you can have people who are going through the same experience with you bounce ideas and support you. And lastly, in the sprout stage, remember, we're spending time one-on-one talking about community building. It doesn't yet look like a mature tree.
This is a whole separate stage. And in our first cohort, I noticed almost everybody just pushed through this and wanted to start doing gatherings, do something like put flyers up. We don't want to start there. We want to start by talking with one person, one other person, and then one other person. And if that takes months, that's fine. That's great. Like, let's take some time with that. You don't want to start alone. If you start alone, guess who's going to be responsible for it for the foreseeable future? You are. So you don't want that. You want to start together. It's so important. Proximity is important to what we're shooting for as an organization, Terry. Because of our local, we're definitely interested in local to us. And we're also supportive of anybody who shows up with an intention to build community. So wherever you're feeling called to build community, you're welcome here. We will support you wherever that container is. So yeah, you fill that out for yourself. But we do like to focus local if possible on neighbors.
So, in the interest of time, we're just gonna go fast the rest of this, the stages, and also to say that you could learn about the different stages through in VillageCore, and also acknowledging that we might be more in the seed and sprout phase still, and so we'll talk more about the later stages at VillageCore as well. But the next phase is Sapling, and this is when the group might start looking like a small tree. So this would be anywhere between 5 to 12 people. There's branches now, and branches really represent for us the first, or for perhaps your new people are taking role, first timers taking role, kind of maybe the first community connection or the inkling of the first kind of light gathering. And there might be some regular gatherings, but then this is maybe the same people taking role, but newbies might be becoming more inspired. And there's some people that visit and might revisit and join. And so the sapling is really just the beginning of the forming of a possible village.
So now I'm speaking again to the model elements. This is the little story that we can tell and we can share with people that help them kind of take in some of these ideas. So gathering program becomes kind of an element that we want to anchor around. So people start to realize that we're following the same program each time, that they have an opportunity to participate in the program. It does take a while for people to hear that. Gathering program, roles, very important to have first roles. People will be taking them for the first time, like Christine said, defining those roles really clearly, repeating them every time you come together so that people really start to get what the model is. The model is that we share roles here. And platform, which is something that everyone can do a little differently. We do have software that we offer here that we've made specifically for Village, that when it comes time, we're happy to share that with you. Also, there's lots of ways of doing this. You don't even need software. It's just a matter of how are you going to invite people? How are people checking in or RSVPing? How are you tracking people so that you know who to follow up with? How do you know who hasn't been there for a while to remember to reach out to them? So all that is helpful and is kind of part of the platform. So those are the model elements to be thinking about in the sapling phase.
And your goal as a sapling really centers around planning for your first gathering. And remember the question that we had, one of the 3 big questions, why your initial gatherings larger? Well, here now in the sapling stage, after you've spent the sprout stage getting prepared, now you're ready to hold a first gathering. So you and your other leads, 2 or 3 other people, each invite 1 or 2 others. This brings together a group of, say, 8 to 12 people is where you want to aim. Focus on direct invites over conversations at this stage because you don't want to have too big of a group come in initially. So do those personal invites. And why start so small? Well, think about the first experiences. Moving slow helps people understand more deeply and become more actively involved. And it's more intimate as a small group. And you can be honest and upfront with people. Hey, this is our first gathering. And, I imagine we all have high hopes for what's going to happen here. And we're all going to do our best because we want to do this in our local community. So having that ability to connect personally. Now, after your first gathering happens, be prepared to follow up on a regular basis with additional gatherings. Maybe a monthly gathering is the right rhythm to get things started, or depending on your community, it might be longer, it might be shorter. Be committed to holding the gatherings on a regular basis, and also not just the gatherings, but from time to time, some events like potlucks or game nights or movie nights or coffee meetups, things that enrich the experience and offer a very casual, less structured, think of it as a side to the main dish of the regular gathering. Let's see, and remember, through this whole process, you have a coach that you're paired with, and you have VillageCore as places where you can ask questions, and as well as getting help from the library resources that Jason talked about. So goal as a sapling, you're planning for that first gathering and getting off and going with some regular village gatherings.
So a tree is when you've had a couple gatherings and maybe you've established a regular pace. There's a rhythm to your group. There's regular members, and you're also training other people to take roles. So more people are becoming more comfortable taking roles and helping plan each gathering. And then people are inviting visitors. So it's a healthy, vibrant tree. The branches are stronger, and there's a regularity to it. And of course, the ultimate, which we'll review later. Perhaps you haven't really you're gathering regularly and you're meeting each other during the village gatherings, but perhaps you haven't seen really impacts out in the community or outside the gatherings.
So now going into our naming game, we have 5 practices. So think of this as like 5 branches that will start small and grow stronger and stronger and eventually bear fruit. First branch is participation, what it means to be a villager. It starts with people just visiting and checking it out, and it grows into people looking through the member agreements and saying, yeah, I want to be a member here. Role sharing, it starts with people like offering a prompt during a gathering, and it grows into people leading a grounding or eventually helping lead a village. Intentional connection. It starts with community connections in the gatherings where you're paired with people and talking one-to-one, and it grows into meeting people outside of gatherings, going for walks or coffee connection. Meaningful conversations. It starts with participating in open space during gatherings and sharing reflections. And it grows into bringing topics that you want to talk about to the village and engaging people around, leading an acknowledgement on a topic that's important to you. And then finally, communal events. It starts with just being a part of Village, and it grows into noticing that people are offering potlucks and coffee hangouts or volunteering opportunities, and it grows into you leading those people, offering those activities to the village and saying, I will lead a volunteer activity. So those are all branches. They take time. They all require energy and effort to grow. So we talk about that at VillageCore. We help support you in finding people to help help those. And the model, I guess, is just a way to name those so that we remember to return to those practices. Right.
Yeah. And your goal as a tree. So I'm going to mix metaphors here briefly. The sapling stage had training wheels. You purposefully wanted to go slow and you wanted to take it easy and you didn't want to overdo it. But once you're in the tree stage, you have enough members, people who are experienced with taking the roles, you can start to broadly invite the community. Go ahead and do those social media posts, put out flyers, bring more people in, encourage the network of people who are already in the attending meetings to bring other people in. Deepen the roots. You got new people coming in, go back and revisit and have a little conversation about the philosophy, a locally connected world. Why are we doing this? Strengthen the trunk. More and more, you get more people comfortable with taking roles. And remember, people take roles because you ask them and they have enough tools and enough comfort to do that. And grow the branches. Jason spent a good amount of time talking about those 5 practices. Healthy trees grow their branches.
So the final stage in our model here is when the trees have fruit, and that's really about harvesting the connections. And these are some of the fruits that we've noticed in terms of impact out in the greater community. And it takes a lot of patience to get there. But you notice that special things are happening. Maybe just maybe your neighborhood or your area just feels a little bit lighter. People are more comfortable talking to one another. And it's not necessarily just because of Village, but it's many things, really, many factors. But you might notice in yourself and the people that are members of Village just perhaps interacting differently with each other and people outside of Village. And so this is when the fruits really begin to shine.
Begin to fruit. I guess fruiting is also a verb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruit. So speaking to the model, we name 5 fruits just because there's lots of things that people want to see when they come in to be a part of a community group. And it's helpful to direct people as they're coming in hot. I call it coming in hot. It's like, I got an app that I want everyone to know about. I really want to start a community garden. Like, that's what I'm here for. And so they're ready to make some fruit happen. So they tend to fall in these buckets. There's relationships. Of course, people get to know each other. Weak ties are just as important as romantic relationships. All of it can show up when we come together. Mutual support can be time banking and mutual aid, helping people move, all that. Caring connected moments. These are just special moments. They could happen during gatherings, before gatherings, on a walk, just something special that you're going to remember. Those start accumulating. Belonging is a fruit that is rich. It's an experience of feeling safe, feeling like you're accepted for who you are, feeling like you care about where you're at, and other people care that you're there. So that develops. And then collective action is a powerful fruit. It's when we do stuff together. So there's something we get excited about, a project. We're all going to do this thing together. We're going to go to this event together. We're going to volunteer to do something. So that is also a powerful fruit. So those are the fruits of community in our model.
Your goal in this stage of a mature tree is to bear the fruits. And it's important. The tree is what allows that and enables it to happen. You may have tried to do things in your community and you don't have enough people there to support what you're trying to do. So by growing this healthy community, you're able to bear all of those fruits. So just a couple of grounding questions as we're coming here to the end. Are you ready to put in the effort to grow the tree that will bear those fruits? And does aiming for this feel right to you? Some good questions.
So this is our completed model with the kind of the labels on there that we've been talking about throughout the program. We'll be returning to this at VillageCore. Again, yeah, you're starting the roots and you're growing from there. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm really grateful to be learning together. And I think that's the main vibe I want to bring is is that as we're all our own seeds and we're all kind of doing things in different ways, like if there's an opportunity for us to learn together and build something together that others can find supportive, we could start a movement of people connecting locally, and that's the hope of naming it in this way of Village. Go well into the rest of your days, and just so grateful that we're all here to make a more locally connected world. Thanks all. Thanks for being here.